All right. They'll just switch to edibles, huh? They'll just quit. Stop being a pothead. Jalen Hurts, Buccaneers, Eagles, 400 grand in the pot, 40 grand first place. 20 fucking lineups. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Rashad Chop, Baker Mayfield, Devontae Smith, Christopher Daniel Godwin, DeAndre Swift, Dallas Goddard, Cade Otton, Jake Elliott, Chase McLaughlin, Cecil Edmonds, Chase Edmonds. I think that's his fucking name. Cecil or Chase? I think it's Chase. I like Cecil. Kenny Gainwell, Buccaneers D, Julio Jones, who ended up showing up in this game. The Eagles D, Quez Watkins, Trey Palmer, and finally, for captain consideration, Olamide, Zacchaeus. Let's do this shit. Do this shit right. Do this shit. Do this shit tight. Top card in the deck. Jalen Hurts. X-rays show no fracture in Hurts' finger, and he's viewed as day-to-day. Hurts dislocated the middle finger on his right throwing hand in Sunday's loss to the Giants, and was removed from the game just before halftime with the Eagles trailing 24 to nothing. Marcus Mariota finished the game going 13 for 20 passing for 148 yards, one touchdown, and one interception while adding 6 carries for 46 yards. The Eagles travel to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs next Monday night, and at this point, Hurts doesn't seem to be in any danger of missing the contest. Marcus Mariota is on the board. Remember, he won 500K for somebody smart enough to run him. Bastard. Let's go to the bottom, work our way back up. After this, I'm going to bed. It's 4 in the morning. I shall take care of all this other work tomorrow. Let's go to bed right with some sweet dreams of winning fantasy football. Ricky Jarrett, inactive Sunday against the Panthers. Old news. Devin Tompkins brought in his only target for 1 yard in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. Tompkins didn't see any return opportunities for a change, but he was able to record a catch for the second straight game to close out the regular season. The second-year speedster wrapped up the 2023 campaign with new career highs in receptions, receiving yards, and targets, while also scoring his first NFL touchdown. However, Tompkins' primary value heading into the postseason is on special teams, as he finished the regular season with 561 total return yards. They're saying this motherfucker break one and run it back. He's in consideration at the 200 level. Ryan Miller. Kieft. Inactive. Active against the Panthers. Keefe missed the Buccaneers' Week 17 matchup with the injury, but he'll return to action in the team's regular season finale as they attempt to wrap up an NFC South championship. They didn't say anything about anybody, right? Yeah, making sure. Calcaterra. Dan Tucker. A mean motherfucker. Russell 12 gauge. Payne Polydurum. Albert Okawokaboom. Noah Torai. Griffin Herbert. Joseph Ungata. Lou Nichols. Greg Ward. Britton Covey, who I'm pretty sure is the return man, right? 5 targets against the Giants. Blackjack Stoll. David Moore brought in his only target for 8 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. Moore played his usual deep reserve role, logging only one more snap from scrimmage than special teams. Moore flashed with a 268 one line in Week 15, but he didn't appear in a regular season contest until Week 12 and wrapped up the campaign with 5 receptions for 94 yards and a touchdown on 7 targets over 7 games. Moore does have postseason experience from his days with the Seahawks early in his career, but he'll remain slotted into the number 4 receiver role during Tampa Bay's wildcard matchup against the Eagles on Monday night. David Moore. Tampa Bay's wild card match. All right, so he's the number 4, which means what? Trey Palmer? No. I guess Trey Palmer's the number 3. Went up. Here we are. Getting towards captain territory. There's the number 3, Trey Palmer. Rashad Penny was more involved than he had been all season for the Eagles on Sunday, but managed a modest 16 yards on 6 carries at the Giants. Penny's signing generated much intrigue over the offseason, with the thought that a change of scenery could help the off injured running back. Instead, he was almost completely a non factor, seeing the field for only 30 offensive snaps all season. 20 of those came Week 18 with DeAndre Swift out due to illness and the Eagles resting several starters in the second half. DeAndre Swift is on the board. Boston Scott rushed 3 times for 5 yards in Sunday's loss to the Giants. With DeAndre Swift out due to illness and the Eagles resting several starters in the second half, Scott was able to play 20 offensive snaps, doubling his season high. The result was another uneventful game for the 6th-year running back, and it's fair to wonder whether he has a future with the Eagles given that he received just 24 touches and 4 receptions all season. Mm-mm. That's 2 for Swift. Possible captains. Olamide Zacchaeus. Let's assume that's a no. He just hasn't been getting involved, has he? Trey Palmer brought in 2 of 6 targets for 10 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. The rookie finished third in the team in targets, but he wasn't overly efficient with them on an afternoon where Baker Mayfield threw for just 137 yards. Palmer closed out the regular season with at least 5 targets in 3 straight contests and a 39-385 receiving line, and he'll now aim to continue producing in a third receiver role versus the Eagles' vulnerable secondary in Monday night's wild card matchup. Eagles D is on the board. Baker Mayfield is on the board. I guess Trey Palmer has to be considered for it. Yep, captain's chair. Look what he did against New Orleans. He's been he's expendable. Right now he's got a captain's chair, but if we can get some good variants, he'll lose his chair. Quez Watkins caught 8 of 11 targets on 93 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's loss to the Giants. With Devontae Smith inactive and A.J. Brown exiting early, Watkins emerged as the Eagles' top downfield option and led the team in catches, targets, and receiving yards. The fourth-year wideout capped the season's best performance with a 16-yard touchdown grab from Marcus Mariota in the fourth quarter for Philly's only touchdown and Watkins' first score of the year. It's unclear if either Brown or Smith will be available for the Eagles' wildcard matchup with the Buccaneers next weekend, so Watkins can see an elevated role once again. Devontae Smith is on the board. A.J. Brown is on the board. That's 2 for Mariota. Mm-mm-mm. Eagles D. Julio Jones caught 2 passes for 13 yards in Sunday's loss to the Giants. Jones didn't do much in Sunday's regular season finale, though he did manage double-digit receiving yards for the second straight week, something he failed to do in his first 11 games as an Eagle. He'll finish the season with 11 catches for 74 yards and 3 scores. Buccaneers D. Kenny Gainwell carried the ball 7 times for 62 yards and failed to catch his only target in Sunday's loss to the Giants. DeAndre Swift wasn't healthy enough to suit up, so Gainwell got the start in the backfield for the Eagles and led the team in rushing yards, while also setting a team high, topping the 54 yards he picked up back in Week 1. Swift should be back for Philly's playoff opener, a road game in Tampa Bay in the wild card round, bumping Gainwell back to a depth role. That is 3 for Swift. Chase Edmonds rushed the ball 4 times for 27 yards and brought in his only target for -3 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. Edmonds gained 21 of his yards on 1 carry, leading to his second highest rushing yardage total of the season. The veteran back had a slightly smaller role than likely envisioned when he signed to the Buccaneers this past offseason, finishing the 2023 campaign with 49 carries for 176 yards and a 1481 line through the air across 13 games. However, Edmonds didn't have 8 and 10 carry tallies within the final 5 games of the season, and he should continue operating as the primary backup to Rachaad White during the postseason, albeit likely in the same low volume role. Rachaad White on the board. Chase McLaughlin did not attempt any extra points, but drilled 3 field goals of 36, 57, and 39 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. The highly accurate kicker fittingly finished the season in perfect form with one of his signature long-distance kicks. McLaughlin generated a career-best 93% success rate on field goals and a perfect 33 for 33 on PATs during the Buccaneers' 17 regular season contests. Perhaps the most impressive part of his statistical profile was his 7 for 8 tally on kicks of 50-plus yards, and will undoubtedly be relied upon again against the Eagles in Monday night's wild card matchup. Well. Jake Elliott made 1 field goal and 1 extra point try in Sunday's loss to the Giants. Elliott wasn't given much to do in a flat performance by the Eagles, which ended the year with 5 losses in their final 6 games. Elliott didn't attempt more than 2 field goals in any of those losses, meaning he finished the year a modest 16th in field goal attempts with 32. A total of 17 of those attempts came in the first 5 weeks, with just 15 coming in the team's final 12. Eesh. This guy used to be the go-to. Cade Otton secured 2 of 3 targets for 30 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. While Otton's numbers look unremarkable on the surface, they were accurately noteworthy when considered in the context of how quiet a day was for the Buccaneers' air attack and the fact that Otton had failed to clear 16 receiving yards in 4 of the previous 5. Otton will now look to make an impact in Monday night's wildcard matchup against the Eagles after producing a 458 O-line and 7 targets in a wildcard loss to the Cowboys last season as a rookie. Is Cade Otton capable of some big games? 24 points against Houston. Is Capable. Trask. Marcus Mariota completed 13 of 20 passes for 148 yards and a touchdown with an interception after replacing Jalen Hurts late in the second quarter of Sunday's loss to the Giants. He added 46 rushing yards on 6 carries. The veteran quarterback entered the game with the Eagles already in a 24-0 hole, and Mariota promptly threw a pick on his first pass attempt before halftime. He did lead a couple of scoring drives in the second half, but Philly never seemed close to signing a real rally. That's the most action Mariota has seen all season. And while the 30-year-old is a free agent in the offseason, he seems to be a good fit with the Eagles as Hurts backup and could return on another affordable contract. Affordable. Fucking hump. This guy will get millions to be a piece of shit. Mariota. Hurts is on the board. Tanner. Dallas Goedert. Caught one pass for 4 yards in Sunday's loss to the Giants. Goddard needed only one catch to set a new career high in receptions, and one catch is all he got. While he'll end the year with a personal best in that category, his 592 yards represent his lowest mark since his rookie season, while his 3 touchdowns tied a career low. He also missed 3 games this season, bringing his total to 14 games missed over the last 4 years. Eesh. DeAndre Swift, inactive for Sunday's game against the Giants. Eesh. It's old news, but I'll read it. I don't think I'll use the data, though. Swift was a surprise addition to the injury report Friday when he was listed as questionable for the Week 18 contest after he was a limited participant in the Eagles' final practice of the week due to the illness. The running back had still been hopeful to play in the regular season finale, but Swift ultimately didn't make enough progress in his recovery from the ailment to gain clearance to play. With Swift out for the mix for Sunday's game, the Eagles are likely to lean on Kenneth Gainwell as their primary running back, though reserves Boston Scott and Rashad Penny could have their roles in the offensive game plan as well. The data is inadmissible. Chris Godwin brought in 6 of 7 targets for 51 yards and rushed once for 4 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. Godwin led the Buccaneers in receptions and receiving yards on a quiet day for the air attack. The veteran wideout finished the regular season on a high note, recording at least 6 receptions in 3 of the last 4 games and posting over 50 receiving yards in each of the final 5 contests of the regular season. Godwin also eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark for the 3rd straight campaign and 4th time in the last 5 years with Sunday's production. And he'll draw a favorable matchup to open the postseason against the Eagles' shaky secondary in a home wild card matchup next weekend. That's 2 for the Eagles D. They love ragging on those secondaries. Devontae Smith has been ruled out for Sunday's game with the Giants. Again, it's old news. All right, inadmissible, but let's read it. Smith came out of the Week 17 loss to Arizona with an ankle injury and now will miss a game for the first time in his career. He didn't practice this week, and the Eagles didn't have much incentive to push him with their 8-18 result, only mattering for playoff positions if the Commanders upset the Cowboys while playing at the same time. Philadelphia guessed Friday the Eagles will play their healthy starters, or at least most of them. But there's some chance of key players being replaced as the game unfolds if Dallas builds a comfortable lead over Washington in the other NFC East contest. Again, we read it for the hell of it to get some insight, but there's no data admissible. Baker Mayfield completed 20 of 32 passes for 137 yards with no touchdowns or interceptions and rushed 5 times for 7 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. Mayfield averaged only 4.3 yards per attempt while carrying out a game plan that was unsurprisingly conservative against an opponent seemingly incapable of pressuring the Buccaneers offensively. The veteran signal caller gutted out what appeared to be a lower body injury that occurred on the first half sack, leading the Buccaneers to the NFC South title while eclipsing the 4,000-yard mark for the first time in his career. Mayfield and the Buccaneers will now await confirmation of their opponent for a home NFC wildcard game next weekend. Rachaad White rushed 19 times for 75 yards and brought in all 4 targets for 18 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. White filled his usual voluminous lead back role with success, clearing the 70-yard mark on the ground for the fifth time in the last 7 games. White also finished the regular season with at least 4 catches in 3 straight contests. And the 2022 third-round pick finished with just 15 yards short of the 1,000-yard mark. Nevertheless, White proved a success in his first crack at the lead back role in 2023, and he's projected to continue filling his dual-purpose duties in a home wildcard matchup next weekend. Yeah, dude, Rashard White's a fucking beast. Mike Evans brought in 3 of 8 targets for 22 yards in the Buccaneers' win over the Panthers on Sunday. Evans logged a pair of receptions for 16 yards on the Buccaneers' first 2 plays from scrimmage, but then almost shut out the rest of the way. The multi-time Pro Bowler's yardage total was the second lowest of the campaign, and he finished the season just 1 catch short of reaching the 80-catch mark for the first time since 2018. Nevertheless, Evans can have an opportunity to see a boost in production against the Eagles' struggling secondary in a home wildcard matchup next weekend. That is 3. 3 for the Eagles. A.J. Brown, the knee injury Brown suffered in Sunday's loss to the Giants, isn't believed to be serious. Brown exited the first half of the regular season finale, but was the first player greeting the layers in the locker room after the game. Jalen Hurts also left in the first half, and while both players are more than likely not to be available for the wild card round in Tampa Bay, or more likely than not, okay. Philadelphia's injury report heading into the playoffs will be worth monitoring to confirm their availability. Also, while both players are more than likely not to be available. Why can't they just say be available? That fucking double entendre shit. 2 for Hurts. Hmm. Let's count the votes. Not a lot of data. We got 2 for Mariota, 3 for Swift, 3 for the Eagles D, 1 for Smith, 1 for Brown, 2 for Hurts. On the other side, 1 for Baker, 1 for White. So, I mean, Baker and White, you gotta like. Hurts, it's a double quarterback, White in the D. Mariota's a backup, so he'll get a captain's chair on this spot right here. Mariota would be right after Goddard. Uh, Boom. All right. So Mariota gets the other spot. Swift. Swift, everything was about his illness. So I don't like it. Eagles struggling secondary is saying that Baker's going to attack it. Came up 3 times, just like the Packers D came up 3 times. I like it though. Double quarterback, Rashad White, Eagles defense. That's our core. So White, Baker, Eagles D. There was nobody down here we liked, right? Nobody we're in love with. All right. A.J. Brown. Hurts, White, Baker, Eagles D. Can't get the Eagles D, so we'll come back to it. We shall see. Evans, along with Hurts, White, Baker. Can we get the Eagles D? Just miss it. But again, we'll take a look. We'll come back to it. White, along with Hurts, Baker, Eagles D. Baker, along with Hurts, White, Eagles D. Devontae Smith. Is he going to play? He's going to play. They let him rest. So Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Chris Godwin, Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles destruction. DeAndre Swift, Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Goddard, Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Now, if we can get Evans, I'd be willing to drop the Eagles D. So here you wouldn't have Hurts because you'd be pulling him for this one. So this would be White, Baker, Eagles D. Kate Otten, what Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Jake Elliott, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Chase McLaughlin, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Chase Edmonds, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Kenny Gainwell, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Buccaneers, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Julio Jones, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Eagles D, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Quez Watkins, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. Trey Palmer, along with Hurts, White, Mayfield, Eagles D. What happened? Wait, did we miss the Buccaneers D? Eagles, Jones, Buccaneers D. Okay, good. Let's go back here. Now, if I can get Evans, I'll drop the Eagles D. Because again, it just says the same thing as that they're shaky. Said it for Evans, said it for Godwin, said it for Trey Palmer, I believe, right? Vulnerable secondary. Called invulnerable there. Shaky here. Vulnerable, shaky. Struggling. Vulnerable, shaky, struggling. That is three adjectives they use to describe the Eagles' defense, which is why, in a more contrarian fucking move, I'm going to stay with it. Because every fiber of my being says put in Mike Evans. Take out the Eagles D, put in Mike Evans to connect with Mayfield. And for some reason, I think I'll just end up fucking myself there. Evans and Godwin will be where everybody's taking their money. I want Baker throwing his ass off, but I also feel like Eagles will get a defensive touchdown. If that's the case, I want in. The obvious move is trying to pull the Eagles D and putting in Mike Evans. I want to do the contrarian move. Now, I could still get Godwin. I could still get Godwin. Again, consistent point production. Evans is a fucking beast. You can go Devontae Smith and a punt. You go Godwin and Mayfield here, get a connection. We get left for 14 here. We get David Moore. Do we like Tompkins? Tompkins' primary value heading into the postseason on special teams. Second year speedster. Scored his first NFL touchdown. Over who? Rashad Penny's not doing shit. David Moore. Do we like Tompkins over David Moore? Second year speedster. Postseason experience. He'll likely remain slotted into the number 4 receiver role. So it's either Tompkins or Moore. Tompkins or Moore. Fuck me here. Where did I fuck up in the Super Bowl? Took too many $200 cards and I left the $800 card on the table. Moore. Again, you could run this same exact lineup, and instead of Moore, you could take Tompkins and sacrifice somebody. Which I don't think we can do, actually. We could sacrifice Elliott. Jalen Hurts, Devin Tompkins. 9G's left. You go Godwin, you can go Smith. Take Smith in the alternative lineup. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I like it. 2 Jalen Hurts lineups. Bang. All right, here we go. So now we can't. We'll cut the Eagles D. We'll make it expendable in a lineup like this. We're going to go David Moore and Devin Tompkins. Yep. Here again, this is an easy cut. We cut the Eagles D. I mean, unfortunately for Zacchaeus, I mean, Quez Watkins and Julio Jones fucking leapfrogged him. So essentially, this is Tompkins and David Moore again. We'll take the punt. Rashad White. Godwin and Moore. Pulling pretty much a Mike Evans fade in favor of Christopher Daniel Godwin. Can't get Evans yet. Stay with Godwin. 23, still going to like David Moore. Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot of me that wants to just take Devin Tompkins. Does have postseason experience. before receiver. More's the way to go. All right, Godwin getting us up to oh yeah, Quez Watkins is the 6 card. Absolutely. We get us the 6 card here. Gainwell or the Bucks D? I like Gainwell, the vulture fucking yeah. If he vultures Swift's touchdowns, then absolutely. I got Goddard, a captain, 54 left to play with. I'm thinking we take Elliott or Otten. Ooh. Whoa, that's a tough call. Otten's the rarer pick. Elliott's the safer pick. Yeah, this guy went just once over. Shit. Elliott. His kickers always come back to haunt you. They always come back to fucking haunt you. Marcus Mariota. Well, now we can actually use Mike Evans. With Goddard. Oh, yeah. Goddard for fucking Mariota have to dump off to him? Absolutely. Oh, God. Not that I want you to lose your Hurts, but if you should go out early when Mariota comes in and plays the game of his fucking life, who's getting hurt? Oh, yeah. Bookend the tight ends on this one. That's a Goddard. That's an easy one. 78, McLaughlin. Godwin, bang. Edmonds? Oh, I don't know. You want Edmonds? Edmonds, really? No, I don't see that. We're gonna do Eagle Slaughter Stack on this one because I won 5 grand once on an Eagle Slaughter Stack with Hertz. It was Miles Saunders at the time. Brown, Goddard. Who else am I missing? No, it was Quez Watkins. We got enough for AJ Brown because the other side, I'm gonna take Tompkins, the kick returner, on the other side here, so we can go Brown. We got Goddard. So who else can we put in here? Right, dump Quez for Elliott. Quez is probably the better pick. And we need a running back. So we pulled Swift. Yeah, there you go. Gainwell. Fuck yes. Tompkins runs one back. I get my slaughter stack. That's fucking 40 G's right there. There it is. Gainwell, yes, because he get vulture and fucking what's his face. Swift can get hurt. So Smith or Godwin? Godwin. Buccaneers D, 9 G's left over. Godwin. Julio? Fuck me. Can Julio be capable of being a big fucking game? He did against Arizona. 2 fucking touchdowns. Yep. Yep. He's relevant. Especially if those other guys banged up. Yeah. 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 Godwin. Eagles D. What if this is a low scoring game? Because everybody's banged up. That was a 9 fucking to nothing game. So I'll run a double defense again. Just to be wild. With Devontae Smith coming up the end. Yeah. Wes Watkins. Godwin. Leave the money on the table. These are some contrarian lineups if I've ever seen them before in my life. Trey Palmer, absolutely. Get AJ Brown. Yes. So we have no Mike Evans except for that captain spot. This is bold. This is absolutely bold. May fate and fate decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money on the new Pharaoh's Lounge store. Peace, love, war. All that other shit